What's up, guys? It's Ted from Immersion here. It's Friday. It's a little bit later than usual, but that means it's time for your D&D update. So, this week didn't have too much news except for one huge piece that dropped right early on. Prestige classes? Stay tuned. So I said prestige classes. Let me just get a couple of the other things out of the way first, then we'll go there. So, first up, there's an expansion, a Brass Dragon expansion has come out for Attack Wing. If you're curious, if that's your thing, I love to get into it. I actually have the starter set, I just haven't really started playing, but I also don't need another somewhat addictive hobby that requires me to purchase lots of other things. But they also linked in the video here is the Attack Wing, kind of like how, all about the game. So I'll put this video in the description as well. Sort of big news, October survey came in. And if you recall, we had the, it's called the Ranger. They came up with that playtest Ranger that was really weird, that like a lot of people were unsure about. Its hit dice was 2d6, it had dexterity and wisdom saves, it only went 5 levels, and it had this spirit companion, lots of ways to do lots of damage. So, let's see if I can pull it up here. This is the survey, so I pulled it up here in an incognito window, so I'd highly recommend if you're a Ranger player or ever had interest in the Ranger or just want to see it get better, come check this out. So would you like to rate the material from the article? And here's what you see. They talked about the 3 different pillars of this new Ranger as a skirmisher, a wanderer, and a guardian. You can see how this fits. And this is really where the meat and potatoes comes together of what you want to see the Ranger become. Because it sounds like, again, they are probably going to try to do some sort of almost major overhaul on this. Which of the following would you prefer for the Ranger class? Full spellcasting, equivalent to a bard. Half spellcasting, like a paladin. No spellcasting, or other. Me personally, I picked partial spellcasting like a paladin. I think that's fine. I think the other things need to bump up. Although a full casting ranger could be interesting. Which of the following would you prefer for the ranger? An animal companion that attacks your enemies in every battle, that attacks in some battles, that contributes to battle by supporting you, such as bonuses to your attacks or AC, rather than making attacks, or an animal companion that doesn't partake in part in battles, or no animal companion, and then an other. Me personally, I said an animal companion that can attack your enemies in every battle. The third option kind of fits with that Spirit Guardian idea, where they kind of just give you passive bonuses, and I think that would be okay too. But I feel like you can't go this attacks in some battles. I think it needs to kind of be all or nothing. And then, this was a big one too I really liked. They specifically called out favorite enemy. How do you want favorite enemy to actually impact the class? Do you want it to confer... favorite enemy is flavorful, like it is right now in my opinion, and doesn't confer any combat benefits. Favorite enemy is a mechanic that confers special benefits against one type of creature, such as orcs, gnolls, etc. Favorite enemy is a mechanic that applies to a specific enemy the ranger chooses each round. For example, the player might indicate the favorite enemy for the round will be, quote, the orc in the purple robe standing in front of me. Or, favorite enemy is a mechanic that gives a standard boost to combat abilities that applies all the time, and that bonus is further improved against specific types of foes, such as orcs, gnolls, etc. Favorite enemy removed as a feature for the ranger or other. For me, this one was a little bit tough. I went with favorite enemy as a mechanic that confers special benefits against one specific type of enemy, because I feel like that harkens back to the 3.5 version that I personally played and I enjoyed. Although, I had a hard time choosing between that and favorite enemy as a mechanic that gives a standard boost to combat abilities that applies all the time, and a bonus is further improved against certain enemies. So I'm not sure how that will work. How can your favorite enemy apply to certain things? It gives you like maybe it's just like, I don't know, like proficiency bonus to damage all the time, but it's half and then it's full versus your favorite enemies. I'm not exactly sure. Basically what I'm saying is I want it to be the equivalent of basically, like, in the edition we have, I'd say maybe wisdom modifier to damage for your favorite enemies, maybe half or full proficiency bonus to damage, or just look at the barbarian rage table and grab how it progresses there and give them rangers that extra damage to their favorite enemies. And I think that's pretty... I don't think that that's game breaking. So, and then how is your satisfaction with the features added into the game themselves? So you can look through here and how are you satisfied. And this is a thing I thought that was pretty interesting. Your level of satisfaction for all Rangers, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition, which is pretty neat. And then if you go to next, it's, I don't know if it'll let me go without filling that out. No. It's just, like a text box that says, like, anything else you'd like to add. You can fill that out. Just a reminder, we got 1 week left on this Rage of Demons design contest. So if you're looking to design some D&D stuff for WeLoveFine, you're running out of time on that. And here we have the Unearthed Arcana article. This is huge, because we know they decided they wanted to go away from prestige classes and that whole sort of thinking to try to reduce book bloat. Or at least that's what they told us up front. But I think a lot of people wouldn't be surprised if it devolves into source books every couple of months, because it's a way to basically print money for Wizards of the Coast. But we figured if it's only going to be, you know, other archetypes, it's going to get, you know, you're going to have a lot of archetypes, and, you know, your characters can only be so different without multi-classing. Well, prestige classes are now a thing, at least in this article. So, many of the character concepts that were once prestige classes or paragon paths in earlier editions are now options available to first level characters. As such, prestige classes build on the game's broad range of basic options to represent specialized options and unique training. The first of those specialized options for 5th edition is the Rune Scribe, a character who masters ancient sigils that embody the fundamental magic of creation. You can think of the material presented in this series as similar to the first wave of the 5th edition playtest. These game mechanics are in draft form, usable in your campaign, but not fully tempered by playtests and design iterations. They are highly volatile and might be unstable. If you use them, be ready to rule on any issues that come up. They're written in pencil, not ink. For these reasons, material in this column is not legal in organized play. The material presented in Unearthed Arcana will range from mechanics that we expect one day to publish in a supplement to house rules from our home campaigns that we want to share. From core system options to setting specific material. Once it's out there, you can expect us to check in with you to see how we can improve it. So again, we'll get right to this. So here is the actual article itself. Prestige class requires a high level of skill before a character can master even its basic elements. Prestige classes might confer lost lore, blah 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 blah. However, you cannot enter a prestige class until you're at least 3rd level, and many prestige classes have even higher requirements. So they have built this kind of basis for prestige classes, we just haven't actually seen any until this one that they have here, which is the Rune Caster. So joining a prestige class, you must first check with your DM. The game can opt to include or disallow prestige classes in your game. And it follows pretty much prestige or paragon paths like we've seen in the previous edition. So there's going to be prerequisites. Just as with standard rules for multiclassing, the experience point cost to gain a level is always based on your character level, hit dice, proficiencies. Proficiency bonus is always based on your total character level, and you get prestige classes. Ooh! Prestige class specifies whether it grants proficiencies when you enter it, so that's a potential to gain additional proficiencies. I assume it meant more like items and like weapons rather than saving throws, but... and so on. So, the Rune Scribe. A Rune Scribe masters the secrets of the runes of power, ancient sigils that embody fundamental magic or creation. The Giants were the first to master rune magic, though many other races eventually stole away or traded for that power. Rune magic is exceedingly rare. Some of its secrets have been lost, and what lore remains is jealously guarded. Few Rune Scribes share their lore with others. Indeed, most Rune Scribes take on new students only if doing so allows them to gain access to forbidden, or forgotten or missing rune. Rune Scribe Prestige class uses the rules for rune magic presented at the end of this article. You can see this is a 5-level prestige class. It does grant spell slots, so that's interesting. So, which should be interesting. Each, let's just check. Each prestige class provides details on how to determine your overall spellcasting ability using the rules for spellcasting and multiclass, because that could be potentially interesting. How multiclassing will come into play with the prestige class. Prereqs: 13 Dex, 13 Intelligence, so a wizard can easily enter. Proficiency in the Arcana skill and character level 5th, and then you must complete this special task. You must find a rune and present it to an NPC rune scribe who accepts it in return for tutoring you in the ways of rune magic. You cannot gain more levels in this prestige class than your tutor has. You might need to seek out additional runes and present them to more skilled rune priests in order to reach 5th level. And I like that because it has a cool RP side to it. D8 hit die. You get proficiency in calligrapher supplies, mason's tools, and woodcarver's tools. No special equipment. First level, you learn the basics of scribing runes and are able to activate a master's rune's full range of properties when you are properly attuned to it. First rune you master is the rune you found and present it to your tutor. And then you get rune magic. And here you go. For the purposes of multiclassing, determine your total spell slots. Add your levels in Rune Scribe to your levels in the classes that present you spellcasting feature. For example, if you're a Rune Scribe 4, Wizard 6, you have the slots of a 10th level character. In addition to having the cantrips and spellbook of a 6th level wizard. So that's really cool, because if this could work out to possibly get your ranger or your paladin or even your eldritch knight or something that's 3rd level casting, a way to boost that up a little bit. Runic Discovery. You continue to study new magic at 2nd, 3rd, and 5th level. Choose a rare rune. You can attune to that rune even if you do not possess the master rune for it. In order to attune to the rune in this manner, you must spend a short rest, blah blah blah. Spend another short rest doing nothing but meditating on the rune to end your attunement. Living Rune. Runes are part of the living world. At 4th level, you learn to incorporate rune magics into your identity, allowing them to augment your body and mind. At the end of a long rest, you can choose, this is big, one ability score of your choice by 2, or increase 1 by 2, or increase 2 by 1. At the end of each subsequent long rest, you can alter how those bonuses are applied. At 5th level, you attain the ability to master an even greater range of runic magic. When you attune to a rune, you can choose to have it not count towards your limit of attuned magic items. You can be attuned to only one such rune in this matter at a time. You can use this ability again after you attune to a rune, or end your attunement to a rune. Runes work like magic items. You can discover them, attune to them, and use their magic in a variety of ways. Runes are powerful icons that you can use for a variety of effects. In order to use a rune, you must normally find and keep a master rune. Master rune is a rare object, gem, carved rock, etc. Engraved with the rune and powered with magic, it allows you to unleash its runes. Simple properties are usable by anyone who attunes to a master rune. Complex properties are usable only by a character who attunes to a master rune and who possesses the rune lore class feature. Unless otherwise noted, you must have a master rune on your person in order to use its properties. This is a little bit about how to find runes, buying and selling runes, identifying runes, runes and attunement. It counts. Master rune can only be attuned to one creature at a time. It counts towards your list of magic items. Presented here are 4 runes in the form of master runes for use in your campaign. So the Opal of Ild rune talks a little bit about it. The simple property, as an action, you scribe the Ild rune using ash on a flammable object. The object immediately bursts into flame. When it burns, the fire extends 1 foot out from where you scribed. And another simple property, Fire Tamer. As an action, you can touch an open flame and scribe the Ild rune within it with a hand motion. This causes the flame to immediately extinguish. For a large blaze, the fire is extinguished in a 10-foot radius around you. Radius extends to 20 feet per level of expended spell slot. While you're attuned to this rune, you have resistance to cold damage. There's another simple property, and then you have the complex properties. As an action, you scribe this rune in ash onto a creature within your range, within your reach. As you expend a spell slot, a creature automatically takes a d10 fire damage plus an additional d10 for level of spell expended. Flame Brand. Over the course of a short rest, you inscribe this rune using ash onto a melee or ranged weapon or onto up to 20 pieces of ammunition. The weapon gains a ghostly aura of yellow flame and deals fire damage instead. In addition, you can expend a spell slot while using this property to grant the weapon or ammunition a bonus to attack rolls and damage rolls equal to the spell slot's level divided by 3. This lasts for 24 hours. Or Flamestoker. While you're attuned to this rune, your fire attacks are deadly. Whenever you roll fire damage for an attack or spell, you can re-roll the damage result and use the high result. That one is huge. I'm not going to go through all of these because there's a lot here. But you basically have a rune for each element. You have a stone rune here, a Stein rune, I guess. You have the Vind rune, which is your wind rune, and I think you have a water one. Cult rune, or it's ice. So there you go. And some of them allow you to actually cast spells. You can cast Levitate as a bonus action. This one lets you cast Sleet Storm, and etc. Melded to stone and whatnot. So this is really cool. More than anything is the concept of prestige classes actually existing in the game. You may recall I did a video, or I'll link it here on the screen somewhere, about my top 10 classes from 3.5 that I would like to see ported into 5th edition. And a lot of them, I was trying to think of them as archetypes and adjustments to an existing class, because that's sort of how the game has been set up. But now that prestige classes are a thing, most of those were some of those were prestige classes, like the Bone Knight, my personal favorite. I would love to see that become maybe a Paladin prestige class. Maybe with the prerequisite is you have to be a Death Paladin, or an Oathbreaker Paladin rather, and then you can become a Bone Knight, or something to that effect. Could be a fighter. Arcane Archer, again, I mentioned that would work very well as a prestige class. It was working as a feat in the playtest of 5th edition, and they pulled it out. It could easily become a 5-level prestige class. So that's that. Lastly, I didn't actually have something up on the screen for this. I'm still waiting. I haven't checked to see if Wizards of the Coast has put up their D&D live stream from Extra Life, but they did put up messages. Close this. Or they did put up a lot of images from the stream. So I would highly recommend checking these out. These are pretty funny, and if the streams are available online, I would highly recommend them. Specifically, this one. If you can find this live stream, I would highly recommend watching it. I laughed so hard during this. Irony, this puppet here, done by Andy Munich, was amazing. You can't actually see, but he has a meat tenderizer, or she rather has a meat tenderizer hammer. And they actually cut this toy Mjolnir as a dice cup. So you actually put the dice in there, and the puppet would shake that and then dump the dice out. I'm actually thinking about doing that myself, because I think that's kind of funny. But anyway, I would recommend checking this out. On that same note, though, Wizards of the Coast did just start doing a live stream playthrough of Out of the Abyss, and the first video in that series is available on YouTube for you to watch, so check that out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I did put out a video last week. I'm asking for people that are new to Dungeons & Dragons, so if you guys are watching this, you're probably not new to D&D, but maybe you do have friends or know of people that are, and just ask them, and feel free to send me a message. I just want to know, I want to do an intro to D&D series, and I want to know what kind of stuff that's hanging them up. Why haven't they played D&D yet? Do they have reservations? Did they hear some crazy rumor? Let me know what that's about, and then maybe we can help to debunk some of the rumors of D&D and get more new, fresh players in the game. But anyway, guys, that's it for this update, and I will see you next week.